Assalamu alaikum, peace be to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's day 16, almost complete day 16. I do have one more cup of water left to drink. Yeah, day 16 was, something shifted today, something shifted, and I'm really trying not to get emotional right at the beginning of the video, because then not only am I going to look like a hot mess, but I'm not going to sound like a hot mess, and I'm not going to be able to get any of my words out. But something definitely shifted today. So I did my outdoor workout. I put my weighted vest on, the 5 kg weighted vest. And the intention was to, again, kind of walk in a fast pace up and down the garden, so that I can keep an eye through the windows on my children, and not use the excuse that, well, you know, I couldn't do the outdoor walkout because I've got 3 children in the house that kind of need to prepare for their evening studies, and I need to feed them, and they need to get them into bed and everything else that you do as a mum. And something shifted as I was doing this outdoor workout. I don't know what it was, but I just felt this surge of just raw energy just pouring out of me. And before I knew it, I realized that not only had I started walking a lot faster, I started running, just almost like sprinting in one direction of the garden and then walking back, right? I have severe asthma. I haven't done proper running, as I call it, for a really long time. And so for me to sprint, that's not the Hafiza that I used to be. So I found myself sprinting there and then walking back. And then even the walk was like, at a speed, and then sprinting. And then when I got really tired, I could feel my heart beating really fast. I was skipping, in one direction and then walking it back, and then high knees in one direction. And then I found myself shadow boxing, something that I haven't done for a really, really long time. When I was in my 20s, I used to have private boxing lessons. And I used to attend kickboxing classes as well. I mean, absolutely adrenaline rush. Loved them. And then when I moved to Manchester, I couldn't find the right thing, and life just got busy in a different way. I kind of gave all of that out, but I've always loved boxing, and I found myself kind of shadow boxing. It was almost like this surge of energy inside of me. And as I was working through this workout, star jumps, shadow boxing, skipping up and down, high knees up and down, just all sorts of kind of exercises that I haven't done for a really long time, especially outdoors where any of the neighbours could see me do it. I felt really emotional, and in fact I cried, and I stood there and I thought, and I was asking myself, Lisa, why are you crying? What's going on? Where is this heightened emotion coming from? And I think it was this realization that, Flip, you have been sitting in you have crafted the best reasons not to do these workouts, not realizing but blaming it on the fact that you have 3 children to raise, and you run a charity, and you've got coaching clients, and you've got a house to look after, and you've got severe asthma. And I was just stood there thinking about all of these excuses that I have made for so many years, and all the opportunities that I have missed to improve my health, to grow generally in life, business opportunities, but most importantly, to really figure out deep down my health. And I just stood there and I cried, I just cried. I just had this strong wind hitting my face, and I just stood there and I cried again. Which is probably why I look so tired, because that's what tends to happen when you've cried for a period of time. And there was just this, almost like this annoyance. In fact, it was almost anger that kind of went through me, thinking, what the hell, Fiza? Why? Why, when you have been given every opportunity to show up every single day, You have the opportunity to show up as your greatest self, as your best self. You have come face to face with your best self when you've done the exercises in during my masters in positive psychology and coaching psychology. Why have you not lived into that? All the, you know it. You know this stuff, and it was almost like real. Like when you're really, really annoyed at yourself, and I think that, yeah, I kind of haven't planned this talk, or this video. But yeah, something shifted, and I found myself just relentlessly, even though I was exhausted, relentlessly just working out for 45 minutes, when catching my breath when I need to, making sure that, my heart rate isn't too fast. And then I could see the shutters kind of open, and I saw my children peering out. And I thought, my gosh, this is what is needed in order for me to role model to them that there is this precious, precious body that God the Most High has given you. And you have to look after it. And it's not to look good. It's not necessarily to fit into a size 12, size 10 dress. It's not even necessary to run a marathon. It's because we have been gifted with all of these organs, with all of these tissues, with all of these incredible parts of this body, right? And we have been gifted, and we are alive. We are alive, and we get to look after ourselves. We get to change that thing inside of us to be able to view this world in a completely different way. I have been feeling intense grief since yesterday, because no doubt if you've been watching the genocide in Palestine unfold, that Uncle Khalid, the grandfather of Reem, who was killed last year in November, Uncle Khalid, who coined the term soul of my soul, the soul of his soul, he died yesterday. He was killed yesterday. He was killed. And that man has always represented hope. That man has always represented compassion to me. That man, I always thought that one day I might get a chance to meet him. Even though he has faced the darkest times in his life, losing so many members of his family. And actually, let's just call it for what it is. It's not losing. It's his multiple members of his family being killed deliberately during this genocide. And yet, his response when his beloved Reem died, the love that he gave, that he showed, and then the words that he used, that Jannah, we're going to meet each other in Jannah. We're going to meet each other in Jannah. I remember watching that video last November, and I cried and I cried and I cried. I had to sit down in my kitchen on a stool, close the door, because I wasn't sure whether it was the right thing to do then, to just show this intensity that I was feeling, this intense grief that I was feeling, just watching that video, that one video where his Reem has died, and he's opening her eye and he's kissing her. I must have watched that video multiple times. And so that intense grief has been there since yesterday. But today just something shifted, and it's like, how dare you, Fiza? How dare you not live your life to the best that you can? Because genocide is not being played out in Manchester where you live. Those people in Palestine, they don't have a choice but to be there. That is their homeland, and it's not finished. Even a year later, it's not finished. It's still going on. They're still as ruthless as they were from day one. And so something has shifted in me. I know I need to journal more about it, but it's me saying to myself that no more excuses, just action, appreciation, gratitude for all these opportunities. Stop whinging, Fiza, about I've got an outdoor to do, I've got an indoor to do, I've got all this water to drink. You get to drink this water. I get to drink just under 4 litres of fresh, clean water. I get to work out outdoors, not having to look above whether there's going to be something that's going to bomb me and kill me. I get to work out indoors whilst home educating my children. I get to decide on a diet. I get to decide to be healthy. I get to decide that this is what I'm going to eat. So yeah, I do feel really emotional inside, and I know that more journaling needs to follow this video. But I did want to ask you a question as well. That where in your life do you feel that you're not pushing yourself? Where are you finding these perfectly good reasons, that have just become the best excuses possible not to get stuff done? Because maybe it's time for your shift as well today. Maybe today, on the 17th of December, maybe it's time for you to have that shift. And for you to figure out, like, what the heck? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? For me as a Muslim, my ultimate goal is to get to heaven. My absolute ultimate goal. Like, I've got to get there. I have to get there. I have to get there. It will be an absolute waste, this life, if I could not get through those doors in heaven. If God the Most High is not pleased with me in my actions. If I have not done enough in this world to be able to get to heaven. So for me, that is my ultimate goal. So that's what I'm going to be asking myself now for the rest of this program. And I'm going to quit this kind of whinginess or this lethargy or tiredness, because even I need to, as I said, journal more. But something shifted in there. Something shifted. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for listening.